Okay, so I thought I'll just go over some of the Arsenal news, transfer news as well, etc., etc. Now, first of all, Jorginho, the main news. Now, to be honest, I think this is a very good signing. I think Arteta's making the right choices. I know last year that we made so many mistakes, and we made so many mistakes. He's done the right thing this year. Last year, we didn't have any cover when players got injured. We took a risk and we bottled top four. Let's be honest. Top four was almost a guaranteed position, and we completely and utterly bottled it. So I think that is definitely one of the downsides to it. One thing I would say though, onwards, moving forward with that, is that it's a short-term loan. It's like 12 million. The West is like a parking ticket for Arsenal. Now, it's not going to cost us that much. He's going to be there for 6 months. We need someone with experience to come in that can just get it started and run in the Premier League. We don't have time to faff around with youngsters. Lokonga against Man City can clearly show you that he can't really hack it right now in the Premier League to be, well, in the Premier League, yes, but not for a title-winning team. You know, when you're going for top four, you can always deal with a player that maybe is not the best technically, or maybe makes a couple of mistakes here and there, because you can allow them to learn, as they did under Wenger. But when you're going for the Premier League title, you can't take that risk. So we're paying a short-term loan. We're not paying that much money. I think it's a really good deal, if you're asking me personally speaking. Other thing to note is he better than... Okay, look. I'm not going to lie. Look, Brighton... I'm just checking right now, actually. So I said I'm just checking... So they were prepared to make a third offer. I mean, look, let's be honest. 60, 70 million, I think, maybe is... I think with the January transfer window, you have that January tax as well. I think it is fairly expensive, to be honest, to buy a player for that kind of price. But to be honest, it's better than having someone without the Premier League experience. I don't want to... At this stage, January, we can't afford to buy someone without the Premier League experience. That's why I don't mind Jorginho. 31, I know he's past his best, but maybe we need him. We can also use him to close the game out. Like, look, El Neni's injured now, and then the truth is, someone like Xhaka, for example, we haven't really got any cover, but we can use someone like Xhaka, and we can actually sub him off, play Jorginho, but also the rotations in the Europa League. I think that's something that we forget about as well. In Europa League, we don't really have that much of a choice to play anyone excess. We know that Xhaka is probably the best combination together. But to be honest, I don't think we have that ability to play separately. Just for example, Partey and Xhaka, because if those guys get injured, who are we going to play there? We can't put that youngster on. He hasn't really got the ability, so we can't put that youngster there. The one that we said recently. So I think we're in a bit of a bother, to be honest. I think we made the right choice by not even taking a risk and going with that. Lokonga then goes to Palace. I think it's a good deal. Look, I think also with the situation as well, I think it's very, very important that you understand that a lot of players, let's say in particular, if we talk about Vieira, he's obviously played in that position, maybe he could teach Lokonga, but let's be honest, Lokonga does need that Premier League experience. That is the thing that I always felt will be the big issue. He does need that Premier League experience, and that is something that I think a lot of the players, well, the Arsenal players, in my opinion, they did lack. So that's one thing I would say. As we win this COD round. Yeah, we talk about Cedric. Look, I'll be honest, Cedric, look, he wasn't for me the best of Arsenal players. I put him very close. It should be going through now. Look, I'm not really a big fan of Cedric, to be honest. He's 31. Like, I think he's a decent player, but look, I'm going to be honest. I don't think he's not Arsenal caliber anymore. I think realistically, letting him go would be the option. I'm just looking at his price now. Letting him go would really be the option here. I don't really like the loan for us. We're just getting some money off the books, and the way I look at it also is that the money that we also can recoup. The way I look at it is we're just paying for Jorginho with some salaries, and Lokonga's going as well. So I think, you know what? I think it's a good way. Look, Lokonga is not going to play this season. In Europa, we're getting close now to the finals. We can't really take that risk either. We're not close to the finals, but, you know, it's maybe we play Barcelona, play Man United, who knows. But I don't really want to take a risk of just, like, taking a risk with the youngsters. I want to be straight here and be candid. There's nowhere I would want to be taking a risk especially at this stage of the season where we have the title in complete contention. And that is what I'll say in regards to that. So I've not really got much of an issue. So Lokonga gone, Cedric is gone. I think the only thing that I really worry about now is do we have enough cover? I look at the front. I'll be honest, I still look at the striker. I don't know. I look at the striker and I genuinely think that we're going to be in trouble because Nketiah, look, he's been proven as right, but I look at the game we just played recently against Man City. Look, he had 2 chances in that game. One of them was the first one, and we saw like an kind of like what Henry would expect to normally does that kind of. I think of that, that chance they had in the first half. Remember when the ball came inside the box, and he just had to really nudge it towards goal, really, and he didn't. I don't know what he was aiming for. He should have gone with his left foot, but he ended up going with the outside of his right foot. It kind of reminded me of Thierry Henry in the Champions League final when Henry had that chance and then Victor Valdez made that save. That's what it kind of reminds me of in that situation. He should have scored that. And then he had that second chance, if you don't remember. We were shooting from left to right in the second half. There's a cross came in from the top left-hand side. And to be honest, he just maybe a bit better defending. Maybe you can argue really is what kind of stopped it. But he should have played much better there, in my opinion. I think I should have been a goal, in my opinion. I think that's 2 chances that you just can't afford to make. And this is why I say, look, I like Nketiah. He presses, but he's no Gabriel Jesus. Martinelli I think Martinelli's been getting hard done by the critics. Look, he's been doing a very good job. He's still been taking a lot of players on 1v1 and he's been beating them. The problem with Martinelli is he's used to Jesus dropping in. Jesus is not there anymore. And Nketiah may just kind of sit along that front line. So I do think it makes it exceptionally harder for players like Martinelli to get more inside the game. But having said that, he still takes a lot of players on. He does his 1v1s by himself, but Shaq is not really helping him. And a lot of the time he's isolated. Don't forget also, given the fact that, like I turn you right there, he is isolated given the fact that also a lot of players, in particular, talking about Xhaka, doesn't really play that position. And Zinchenko obviously on the left doesn't overlap like Tomiyasu or Ben White does. Zinchenko normally goes to middle type, centre mid role, and Xhaka kind of covers for left mid, left centre mid, or when Zinchenko's not there, can cover for that left back role. So that is the issue there. So I think we've got a really good lineup now going into the next season. I say Jorginho, I think he's a good signing. We did the right things. I would love to get another striker, but that's done now. It is what it is, as people would say. But I think, look, he's a good signing. We can play him in Europa League, and this way we can give Partey a rest. I also think if we're winning inside the game, we can sub on Jorginho off for Xhaka. Yes, it is true, he does slow the game down a little bit, but I don't really mind that. Technically, he's very gifted. He's obviously a prolific penalty taker. Very, very rarely misses his penalties with a typical hop and skip and watches the goalkeeper then makes his movements. We saw that in the World Cup, a bit of unfortunate there, but he's a very, very good player. Has that technical ability. And this is the thing. Arteta, I trust. I think when we bought Zinchenko and Jesus, I thought they were 2 fantastic signings. Everyone was skeptical on them, but I knew for Arteta's playstyle, I knew it was a brilliant addition. I look now at, for example, a sign like this, and I think to myself, is this he's not a world class player anymore. He's 31, but I think as people say correctly, he's a stopgap. So that's the way that I use him. But anyway, this is my thoughts on it. Jorginho, I think covered part. And don't forget El Nenny's been injured as well. I would love to see maybe some more business in terms of the striker role, but I think it is what it is. We let people go out for experience. And I think also with I think with Partey, look, they had a scan. I believe his ribs. I don't know what the issue was, but they said there was nothing major. So I think we're pretty much on the good side. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that. That's just what I wanted to mention. Hope you enjoyed this kind of quick overview. Thanks for watching. That's just kind of my thoughts. I'm looking forward to the Everton game. Jorginho should be ready potentially. Again, also moving into the Caicedo. When I look at him, he's 21. He's not really. Look, he's Premier League ready, but is he a title contender ready? Does he have that experience to fit in? I don't know. Brighton, they play good, sometimes decent football, but they're not like, they don't play like Arsenal do. maybe we can go back for him in the summer at a reduced fee. And obviously we're paying that January tax as well. But it's not fair on Brighton as well. You know, they're in a good position. You know, they could potentially, I'm not saying they can, but you know, top 4 is not realistically on the cards for them. But I think realistically it's not. But if I look at the BPL table as of now, 31st of the 1st, you know, they're not so far behind. You know, they're 31 points with 2 games in hand. They can make that 37 and just be just outside the top 4 in Europa. So, you know, this is really their chance because Liverpool are probably going to catch up, to be fair. But this is really their chance. So I think Brighton was smart not to get rid of him. And I think we can go back at a lower price when it comes to the summer. Obviously, you pay the January tax. And, of course, we're paying the tax even higher because they can't get the replacement. So I think that would be a good suggestion. I think one other thing I wanted to mention just briefly, one thing that is that Declan Rice. I think we can go for Declan Rice in the summer now. Look, we're only signing a 1 year with that player. So I think, you know what, it's not the worst of ideas. You know, 6 months plus 1 year with an option, I believe. So I think it's a good deal. But that's just my thoughts. Kind of going around in circles now, so I don't want to end the video now. But that's kind of my thoughts on the situation. Hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Thanks for watching, and as usual, I'll catch you next time. Peace out, and don't forget, if you do like this kind of content, do let me know. I know, as I said, I know this content doesn't really do that well, but I'm surprised people are still watching it regardless. So if you are an Arsenal fan, or just generally you are actually listening to the end of the video, let me know what your thoughts are. It'll be interesting to know. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.